What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the
Hey,
we've been thinking for ourselves. Never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
What do you think?
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. No live yesterday. Late tonight. Everything just kind of fucking sucks right now. So, but I am here. What's happening? What's up? What are you guys going? Or what are you guys doing? How was last night? Did you get by without me? Sorry, I'm reading a message as well. Anyways. Yeah, I didn't go live last night. I just felt like I had been going fucking wide open nonstop, which is basically what I continue to do today. So I started tearing down. We don't actually have a piece of equipment. We're trying to rent some, but the rental companies are pretty backed up. I'm trying to get a decent sized Mini X, like 10 to 12,000 pound machine back to the campground to tear down some buildings. To start some grade work, to remove some rocks, to move some concrete, some other shit. Or I've also been thinking about, maybe potentially purchasing a backhoe. If we rent one, right, you rent it, it's cheaper, and then at the end of it, you give it back to the rental company. If we buy one, then we use it for as long as we need, 3-6 months, whatever, and then sell it and then recoup a lot of that money back out of it, right? You can sell it at the end. I don't know. Rental companies are basically backlogged and taking down people's names for like a waiting list, and I can't find one anywhere else. So the plan so far is not a plan. So I've been taking apart a cabin just by hand. I went in today and got all this stuff out of it that I felt like that wouldn't burn, right? So I went in and got some metal out, got the stove out, got the windows out of it and tried to save those. Got the refrigerator out. What else did I get? I saved some brand new blinds that were in it. Oh, the mini split air conditioning system. Got it out, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, trying to get a piece of equipment. That'll probably be like a Monday thing. There were supposed to be protests today. There were supposed to be protests today for the handling of the railroad redoing Chestoa Park. Actually, I wonder if I want to look up something. Hold on. Yeah, they're trying to redo the park, the rec area there. They're actually rebuilding the railroad, but while they're there, they're doing some reclamation stuff on the park. And they are doing some other things as well. Like, they helped us with our road. They're doing different things. Yeah, man, there's fucking basically no trees there now. I was wondering what it looked like from satellite view. There was a bathhouse here. There were 2 parking lots. All this is gone. This is where, if you ever watch my TikTok videos, this is where the railroad's like stockpiling. So the railroad's right here. So all this is gone now. And they're stockpiling all that gravel right there. When I used to work on the railroad, I think there's a signal right here. I think this is milepost 140, Z 140, 139.9, 140, somewhere around there. And then if you take this all the way over to the next, basically the state line milepost, if you follow the railroad up, that would be 148. So that's like 8 miles of track there on the Tennessee side. How bad does our shit look? Yeah, pretty bad. This building's gone. This building's gutted. This building's gone. The pond's gone. All these buildings in here are now gone. The garage is gone with all my fucking tools in it. Kind of sucks. I didn't even know when this picture was taken, but there you go. Oh well, we're still working on it, I guess. Still doing our thing. Anyways, we're trying to get a piece of equipment back there to work on some of the rebuilding, but we haven't got it yet. We're trying to get it from. I was seeing if anybody had one locally that they would want to rent out, especially if it's just sitting there. I'd rather pay somebody than pay a company, but it doesn't seem like everybody's is being used or they're not interested in renting it out. And then the rental companies are kind of backlogged for now. So there you go. Blue Anon conspiracies are blowing up. You guys know what Blue Anon is? It is the left wing's answer to QAnon. But they are on a bunch of the election was stolen shit now, which is it doesn't help anybody really. Like if there was some fucked up shit in the election, it'll come out over the next couple of months as they investigate it. This right here doesn't really help anybody. I'll turn the audio on.
Here and talk about this.
Yeah, I can't wait to see when it's, well, I have Google Maps so I can go back in time, but I can't wait to see when the next time the satellite passes over and see how bad it is.
I thought about it long and hard yesterday. I know this is probably going to cause controversy or this is going to cause whatever. And to be quite honest with you, I'd much rather lose and people know than not do anything and sit on it, okay? This was brought to my attention yesterday from a friend of mine. His name is Mr. Mr. Wheezy 100, and he's an engineer. I'm not going to get into information about him, okay? And
you were timed out for 1 second. It's fine.
He brought this to my attention because, you know, he also understands that, you know, I have my CCIE. You know, I've been a programmer and a networker for the past almost 11 years, you know, for networking and computers and all those other things. With that being said, it was brought to my attention, and I'm going to, at the end of this video, make sure you watch the whole entire thing, please post it, boost it, because I'd rather lose and, you know, lose whatever I need to in order to get the information out than to not say anything and sit on it, because I absolutely fucking refuse to be like this. This is a give back to my dad and, you know, everything that he went through. Anyways.
There's way too much backstory for this. Like, we don't need all this, right? We don't need to, this is give back for my dad. This is, but we don't need all this.
With that being said, he sent me a video letting me know that California and other swing states were able to use Starlink in order to tally up and to count ballot votes.
Now, this isn't true, and it would be stupid, right? We just went through a whole thing about the voting machines are not online. But not only are they not going to be online, but now you're going to put them on Starlink, an unsecured satellite network, rather than like fiber or much faster alternatives. How the fuck would you put it on Starlink?
Voting ballots in their state, okay? There's a multitude of issues with that, and I'm going to explain to you why. And I'll explain to you in layman's terms because you have
the biggest issue is it didn't fucking happen.
When it comes to computer programming jargon, you guys are not going to understand what the flying F I'm fucking talking about, okay? So anything that you guys don't understand or you want more clarification from, please message me. I have no problems explaining it to you. With that being said, okay, you also have to understand that when it comes to Starlink, okay, Starlink is it's an IPv4, it's an IPv6. Basically what that means is that it's a specific satellite link-up system that sends signals to whatever it's hooked up to. It doesn't matter what it is, like a normal internet connection, right? With that being said, two things. Number one, why in the flying freaking flap, okay, were voting fucking ballot or voting ballot boxes or whatever, the places where you go to fucking vote, why were they connected to the internet?
They weren't.
Absolutely zero reasons as to why those systems were connected to the internet. Those machines have absolutely no problem tallying up votes like they have done since the beginning of time. Now all of a sudden he wants to come in here and talk about, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and help you because I know, there's a lot more people voting and it's going to be difficult. This and that. There's not a lot of people that you volunteer to help. Blah, 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 blah. Let me help you to tally up the votes in order to be able to help you guys and make things easier for you. Oh, what a sweetheart you are. What a sweetheart you are. But for those of us who know the business, we're not dumb. Okay? So again, you have to understand that when it comes to Starlink, okay, Starlink is a tri-band FI6 system. Okay, like I said before, it sends signals to whatever it's hooked up to and bounces back and forth, and this is not, you know what I'm saying? It's a basic system, it's highly intelligent AI process system, right? And with that being said, it's amazing, to be honest with you. I'm not going to take away the fact that this man is a genius, okay? And I will say that, but genius in a lot of ways. Again, with that being said, you also have to understand that when you are using a Linux operating system, which is what Starlink also is, okay? This is going to be difficult to explain, but I'll try the best that I can. When you are sending signals back and forth to expel or to read information, right? The information that's being read, it's not normal information. So in other words, it's not a normal internet connection. Like irregular internet connections, it's a broad span of all different types of fucking information. Doesn't matter what it is, what you're looking up, 50,728 fucking things that come in and out of the fucking signal and processes it and allows it to bounce back and fucking tell you whatever fucking answer that you need, right? Okay, straight. Now, with Linux systems, there is no fucking way, unless you are processing different systems and different programming to the Linux bias in order to fucking bounce back the information that you're getting. In other words, the information that you're getting has to be the same repetitive fucking thing. So in other words, if you're gonna process this and you're going to tally up whatever, right? It's only going to process one specific thing. In other words, so let's say you're going to separate it, right? Okay, we're only going to separate the system so that way it only reads Dem votes, or it only reads Republican votes, or only reads Libertarian, or whatever, right? To separate each one in order to count things correctly in order for that to be correct, right? No. You have to understand, Linux systems do not work that way. It is a 4x4 minim system that only fucking works bilateral based on what information it's fed. One thing to bounce back. So if you're counting something, it can't separate them. Is this making sense for you? You can't separate what it's counting. So with that being said, he would have had to separate his processing system. He would have had to have sent 3 different types of gens. Gens are different operating systems that separate between the linkage signal, right? In order to switch what it's doing. So with that being said, okay, he sent it down. He read a certain amount of fucking certain votes, right? Sure, okay, that's fine. But that's not what the fuck you did. The whole entire time that you were using this system and you were using it to tally votes, you were using a Linux system. It doesn't split. It doesn't split. So how in the fuck were you counting things
None of this happened, right? Literally none of this happened.
correctly when you weren't even able to separate what it was that you were counting? Is this making sense to anybody? No? Maybe? I don't, bro, I'm fucking telling you. And not only that, this is why the numbers don't make sense. This is why the numbers don't make sense. And the reason why I'm going to tell you that is because, first of all, you had guaranteed states that were going to turn blue and didn't.
Paper ballots is retarded.
Then you have millions of fucking, things that are missing. Now you have fucking people that are all over the fucking United States that are looking up their things and are stating that they were not fucking received or processed. Do you fucking get what I'm saying here? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Because this right here is bullshit. I don't care how smart of a programmer you are. You cannot splice your own networking system to do what it's not designed to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't, again, message me and I'll explain it to you even further. I only have a couple more minutes. I want to play this video for you. If I don't have enough time to explain, I will repost it or I will send it to you my fucking self. And not like I said. And then the places that he sent Starlink to were only to swing states. Man, come the fuck on, bro.
I don't know if she honestly understands it and she's like trying to break it down for everybody else, or she doesn't understand it, but
I'm gonna play the video for you now. You guys fucking tell me how you feel about it. Please repost this and get it out. I don't give a fuck if I don't care. Share it with the fucking masses, bro. Fucking please. Because everybody deserves to know.
So somebody sent me this and asked like, oh, what's going on? But it is what it is. Yeah.
Be grateful we didn't send you back to Africa after we were done using you as slaves. Like, genuinely, do you understand how ungrateful you sound? Are you able to comprehend the fact that everything you have, the fact that you don't live?
Oh, this is old. Where's the video that she's going to play it for us?
Waste any time at all. Didn't waste any time at all. So all you veterans, pay attention, especially all you veterans that voted for Donald Trump. And we warned you. We told you it was...
It's like a very small subset of people that are saying like... So people are basically amazed that that a lot of people didn't turn out to vote, but a lot of them voted third party and some of them just weren't energized to vote. Right? They couldn't come to voting for Trump, but they didn't vote for Kamala either.
It was coming. So election night, 11:05 2024. Look at what they put on the floor.
Does the gentleman from Virginia seek recognition?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to lay H.R. 82 on the table.
And this is what this is. Let me tell you. Now, we told you it was going to happen. We have a Congress which is Republican right now. It's going to pass there and it's going to go to the Senate. So the Senate, Trump's Senate, the one that's Republican now.
I think one of the biggest things people need to be upset about is the Department of Education. So the Department of Education is the only thing standing in the way to make sure that everybody gets a fair education, right? So, like, if your kid is behind or has a speech impediment or special needs or your state's just dumb, oh, well. Some states are going to do it well. Some states are going to do it bad. Like Ollie has an IEP for his speech, for like speech therapy. The federal government guarantees that there's money for that. They guarantee that it's offered to him. They guarantee that any speech devices or anything that maybe we couldn't afford or that the average family couldn't afford or a low-income family couldn't afford, they're paid for, they're taken care of. They make sure he gets to it. They make sure that we get these it's an individual education plan, but they make sure that we get this paperwork that tells us how he's proceeding, how he's doing. It makes sure he sees the right therapist, the right people with fucking degrees in this shit, right? All that is to take care of him. And there's going to be no guarantee that the federal government's what's doing that, right? The federal government is coming in and saying, hey, this person has checked these boxes, so we got to make sure that they don't get left behind. Now, Tennessee might say, fuck those people. They're too expensive. We're not buying that. We're not gonna back up. We're not gonna help kids with their speech impediment. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do that. Because hell, they won't even give kids fucking free lunches in a lot of Republican states. So that could destroy his IEP. Not to mention, think of the states that already, with federal oversight and federal funding, they already are some of the dumbest states in America, right? Without being left to their own devices, their children are just educated poorly, right? Alabama, Mississippi, these types of states, right? Now imagine that the federal government's not even checking on it. The federal government's not, the state just says, oh yeah, we're great. No standardized testing. No, we don't care about that. Where the teacher reads the thing in the book, and then at the end we give them a diploma. What? So basically what we're doing is rolling the dice, and you're saying, the Department of Education is not perfect, right? But at least it was standardized, and it standardized everything across the entire country. So what you're saying is like, okay, the system's not perfect, but we were standardized. I don't want that. What I want to do is roll the dice and hope that my state is good, and we'll see how that works out. But a lot of states aren't going to be good, right? A lot of states aren't going to be great. A lot of states are going to fail students. A lot of states are going to leave students behind, and there's no oversight past your state. That's it. There's no oversight past your state. It is what it is, and then past that, good luck, I guess. Good luck. Canada is number 4 in education. So, hope you got a good state that cares about kids, that'll fund kids, that won't, cut spending in education, because the federal government wouldn't let them do that. They would give them funds, but it was mandated it had to go to this or that education, right? Now, what's going to happen is federal funds are going to be very loosely associated with anything, right? Because they want them to be able to use it at private schools or this or for a sports team or for a field trip. There's going to be no standardization across the board, and you just got to hope your state doesn't need to do a budget cut. By the way, the states that need the most federal infusion, federal dollars for stuff like education or roads or whatever are almost always red states. I know the Republicans bitch about these blue states and how they're socialism, communism. Blue states tend to pay for their own shit, and more so pay for a lot of the programs that happen in red states. So good luck. It's like the fucking Hunger Games. Hope your shit does well, I guess. Hope your district is educating those kids. I don't know. I live in Tennessee. I have little to no faith in our fucking state legislature. They're probably gonna leave kids behind. I don't know. I thought about even enrolling the kids in like something online that is standardized, depending on how these cuts work or how the Department of Education breaks down. Enrolling the kids in something online just to at least as like a way to measure, are they keeping up, even though the Department of Education is losing their oversight or being destroyed, whatever the fuck they plan on doing with it, getting rid of it, basically. So we'll see how that works out. Republicans basically unapologetically came out and said, remember how hold on just a second. Remember how Project 2025 was a big talking point? Then everybody came out and was like, Trump doesn't even know that guy. He's never seen him. He's never done this. He's never blah, 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 all that stuff. Now, I guess Republicans have just come out and said, well, this was the plan all along. And some of them are claiming this is a joke. Others are claiming it's not. I don't know. Let me see if I can find some of these posts. The first person was Matt Walsh, which you can say is like a troll post, I guess. Here it is. Project 2025 is actually the agenda, a prominent MAGA figure has said, despite Donald Trump repeatedly denying any connection with it during the election campaign. Steve Bannon has strongly endorsed a comment by conservative political commentator Matt Walsh, who said on X, formerly Twitter, now that the election is over, I think we can finally say that, yeah, actually Project 2025 is the agenda. Matt Walsh's post has 5.9 million views and 6,800 reposts. Project 2025, a manifesto which was created the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation for the next Republican president, has been strongly criticized by many actors across the political spectrum, including Trump himself, for some of its proposals, which include an overhaul of the federal government and federal policies that target the use of abortion pills. Now, the influencers are saying, it was just a joke. But if it is a joke, they weren't very clear about it, because even the Trump supporters are like, wait, what? Wait, I have a son. One of them was like, I have a son that's gay. You better leave him out of it. He's not one of those trans people. You better leave him out of this. Other people were like, this isn't funny. Like, Project 2025 was a fucking disaster. What? It's almost like buyer's remorse. Trump has said he had no association with it multiple times, calling some of the ideas absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. In July, Democrats have pushed back on this, saying many of President-elect's former aides are leading the project. Bannon, who was recently released from prison after serving 4-month sentence for contempt of Congress, cited and endorsed a post on his podcast, Bannon's War Room. He said, Matt Walsh, I think, is a very smart and funny guy, just put up on Twitter. Now that the election is over, I think we can finally say that, yeah, actually Project 2025 is the agenda. Fabulous. Bannon said before telling his team to put that everywhere. Walsh does not have any formal role in Trump's team, but he is a significant figure in the MAGA supporting media with 3.2 million followers on X, formerly Twitter, and he hosts the daily podcast, The Matt Walsh Show, produced by the network The Daily Wire. Newsweek has contacted Trump's team via email for any response. The Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts congratulated Trump on his victory after he achieved what has been dubbed the greatest political comeback in U.S. history. President Trump has achieved historic hard-fought victory, overwhelming 4 sham indictments, surviving 2 assassination attempts, and overcoming an unprecedented mid-race candidate swap to become the first president since Grover Cleveland to win 2 non-consecutive terms. Kevin Roberts said in a statement issued Tuesday evening. Project 2025's 900-page document contains 30 essays penned by various conservative political thinkers and former officials, which together outline ways in which the federal government could be reshaped to tackle the moral. Benny Johnson was the other one. You guys remember Benny Johnson when he was one of the guys that was caught up in the Russian YouTube channel thing? The document's recommendation on abortion, immigration, and executive control of over the federal bureaucracy saw it dubbed by the ACLU as a roadmap to how to replace the rule of law with right-wing ideals, and attempts to link Project with Trump became a key line of attack for Democrats throughout the campaign. Obviously, Trump knew about Project 25. Like, most of his staff was on there. Hell, his vice presidential pick, his vice president, JD Vance, wrote the foreword in a book that was written by the guy that's the head of the Heritage Foundation. Of course they knew what the fuck it was. He just had to distance himself from it. Do I think Trump will do everything in it? I hope not. I hope not, but it is what it is. Let's see. Ooh. Is something going on with Dr. J? Have you been keeping up with Rekieta and Nick Imholtz? Nick Rekieta and what's Imholtz for? Aaron Imholtz? I don't know why I swapped their names.
All right, we are currently in the midst of an information war, and I'd like to say that America as a whole is losing. If you've been watching my show for a while now, you know that I relentlessly talk about the perversion of right-wing news or the right-wing ecosystem, but it's not even that. Russian disinformation has successfully seeped into the mainstream so much that we have people like Vivek Ramaswamy spewing Russian talking points, people like Elon Musk spewing Russian talking points verbatim on a platform that he owns. And we'll get to the information war in 1 second, but the broader point here is people were so uninformed when they went to vote that on November 7th, the day after the election, the day that Trump won, or the morning after Trump won, people were searching Trump tariffs, Trump tax plan, Trump deportation, Trump abortion ban, and all of these spiked on Google results the day after the election. If you see it,
Of course, the day after the election. Of course, the day after the election, they're like, what did we vote for?
bottom where my cursor is, November 4th happens, then November 5th happens, and on November 6th, around that time, people then begin searching Trump abortion ban, what are tariffs, at a 5 to 6 times higher rate. And my broader point here is to move back to the information war. We are losing this information war. People were gaslit into thinking that Donald Trump's policies relating to tariffing exports from China, relating to ending the war within 24 hours of becoming the president-elect, which it's been more than 24 hours, not a single war has been ended. Trump is not going to be able to end these wars with a stroke of a pen. All of these things were burned to the minds of American people through Twitter. And what I want to do today is I want to break down some of this disinformation, because in order to win in this information war, we need to be pushing back. We need to be firing back. Sorry if the analogy is a little bit violent, but we need to be firing back with facts. So what I'd like to do is, this tweet just went viral today, and stick with me.
Ethan Ralph's always in everybody's mix.
For just 1 second, because this is important. This tweet contains lie after lie after lie. It also just distorts real facts to make them seem more favorable towards Donald Trump only 2 days after he became the president-elect. And the worst part is, I mean, the last time I refreshed, this tweet had 70,000 likes. Now it has 100,000 likes and 5 million views. So going back to my point, we are fighting an information war. And right now it is happening a lot of the times on Twitter or on X. So we need to be pushing back on all of these lies relentlessly, or else we're going to be underwater. We're going to be underwater. So make sure you drop a like, subscribe to be a part of this new resistance, and let's jump in. This reads, Trump is president-elect for 2 days. And I do want to say, everything I'm about to read is either a distortion of the truth or a lie. For example, let's read this first one. Stock market hits record highs. Really? Really? The stock market has been hitting record highs throughout all of Biden's presidency. I mean, let's see. He took office in January of 2021. Let's go back to around January 2021. Boom.
I think Trump genuinely believes, like, Trump doesn't understand, like, work or a job or the economy. I think Trump genuinely believes that the stock market is the economy.
All-time highs, little dip, all-time highs. And then the stock market dipped or stagnated for a while. Folks, this is normal. The stock market doesn't always go straight up. Sometimes it has to chill out or dip. We also got bad inflation news, and boom, October 2023. This is over a year ago. Back to all-time highs, all-time highs. If you can follow my cursor right here, you'll see that we're hitting all-time highs. Even 2 weeks ago, we were hitting all-time highs if you're following my cursor. And then when Trump becomes the president-elect, we go up like 2%, and people are saying this is the Trump boom. It's a new golden era. Come on, that is complete dishonesty, and I've proven it by showing you this chart right here. So we can immediately scratch that one off the list. She then says, migrant caravan at our border dissolves. Again, this is such a slippery use of wording. Literally 4 or 5 people decided to turn back because they didn't want to risk getting stuck at the border like people did during Trump's first term. But if you want to talk about the actual numbers, ever since July, the immigrant arrests at the border have been lower than Trump's last month in office, which means the encounters are lower. People are trying to get over here at lower rates. Illegal entry based on border arrests was lower in July 2024 than during Donald Trump's last month in office. In fact, if you look at the numbers since July, border arrests, border crossings, border...
I think that the leaders of the conservative movement know that they've got the stupid vote locked in. Like, Matt Walsh made a post that said something like, people who don't have college degrees saved us from a Kamala Harris presidency. This is just more reason that you shouldn't go to college. You shouldn't send your kids to college. No one should ever go to college. What?
Apprehensions have objectively either matched or been lower than where Trump was during his first term. So going back to this tweet, the idea that migrant caravans at our border are starting to dissolve en masse, they're going back, it's over. The problem is not over, and Trump is not going to fix it. In the same way that this next one really pisses me off. It's such a distortion of truth. It's such a lie. It says Hamas calls for an end to war. And they've all been referring to this one Newsweek article that is total clickbait. It says Hamas calls for immediate end to war after Trump election win. But the thing is, Hamas has been calling for an end to the war every single week since the war started. It is a strategic way to make it seem like Trump is taking a win. Let me read this. Quote, the election of Trump as the 47th president is a private matter for Americans, said the Hamas political bureau. They then said, Palestinians look forward to an immediate cessation of the aggression. They say that every single week. They then say, and we look for assistance in achieving the legitimate rights of freedom, independence, and the establishment of their independent, self-sovereign state with Jerusalem as its capital. That is what Hamas said. Now, just remove your biases about the war. We're not talking about who's actually right in the war. Trump, in zero reality, is Trump going to grant Palestine a sovereign state with Jerusalem as its capital. No matter what your opinion on the war is, that has never been Trump's plan. There's no reality in which Trump is going to grant that to Hamas and immediately end the war. So when they say Hamas calls for end to war, they're literally just using Hamas's weekly call for a ceasefire that they do, and Trump is not going to grant that, meaning the ceasefire is not going to happen in 24 hours. Now, Bitcoin hits a record high. The thing is, the values of alternative currency tend to go up when volatility hits the market, or when people think there is potential volatility. When people think that our normal currency might get nuked because of tariffs, then yeah, Bitcoin will start to go to new highs. At the same time, Donald Trump has promised to make the U.S. the cryptocurrency capital of the world, and he put his sons, Beavis and Butthead, in charge of World Liberty Financial, which means there's an insane conflict of interest when you're trying to turn your country into the crypto capital while you own a cryptocurrency company. Okay, let's go to the next one. But after Bitcoin hits record high, we have Putin ready to end Ukraine war. No way these people are so easy at being manipulated. Putin has been calling for an end to the war since day one, but he uses slippery language. When he says we are going to end the war, he means that they get to retain any territory that they have captured. They get to keep large parts of Ukraine, and effectively it's just kicking the can down the road to another administration. So in 2014, Putin invaded Crimea. He actually got a little bit of a win with Crimea, but he knew that he couldn't keep going, so he stopped the war in 2014. He stopped it. Less than a decade later.
Yeah, it was, I guess Matt Walsh started it, but a bunch of people were posting it. Benny Johnson. There was a whole list of people that were posting it.
In 2022, he regrouped and he reinvaded. He went further. Now, the thing is, if Donald Trump says Putin will just end the war, gets to just keep what he has, Putin will then relaunch the invasion down the road. But the scary thing is, Trump, MAGA, people on Twitter will be spinning this as a massive win. And what I say at the beginning of this video, we are fighting an information war and we need to be pushing back.
Yes, some of these things did happen because they were already fucking happening or have nothing to do with the Trump presidency.
If this happened, and if Elon Musk began to relentlessly push on Twitter, push via the algorithm, that yeah, Trump took a massive win, the onus would be on us to push back because we know the mainstream media is not going to. This is another annoying one right here. Qatar kicks out Hamas leaders. They are saying that because of Donald Trump, Qatar is kicking out Hamas. Dude, the Biden administration has been working on this for months. The Biden administration has been trying to get this done for months now. You cannot just take credit after months of hard work. Read this article. At US behest.
This is the MO of Republicans elected, right? Everything that from the last campaign or from the last presidency that was good, they take credit for. And everything that's bad, they blame on the last president.
Qatar has ordered Hamas to leave Doha via Biden officials. Washington concluded Terror Group's presence in Qatar is no longer beneficial. I mean, Trump's not even in Washington. Trump has no control over Washington. Following a request by the U.S. from the Biden administration, Qatar told Hamas over a week ago that it must close its diplomatic office in Doha. Senior Biden administration officials told the Times of Israel. The Biden administration has been working on this for months. We can go back and find articles of the Biden admin working hard on this. They sometimes do.
No, it was Trump just being elected.
8 to 12-hour negotiations. And the fact that Liz Wheeler, whoever Liz Wheeler is going to come on Twitter and say Qatar just kicked out Hamas leaders because of Biden, that is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to highlight that just because it's extra disgusting. This one is the real kicker. They then say EU will now buy U.S. gas, not Russian gas. Yeah, this isn't a good thing. The EU is trying to align itself with the U.S. interests so Trump doesn't start a trade war with the EU. Because if they can create aligned interests where they're buying our gas and then Trump tries to place tariffs or sanctions or start some kind of trade war on the EU or even on Ukraine, that will blow back in our face as well. So they're basically holding us hostage too, saying if you try to start any trade war, that's going to blow up both of our economies or gas prices at least. The next one says Putin will sell oil in US dollars. Again, this is not a good thing. The fact that Vladimir Putin is expecting Trump to enact such weak sanctions or remove sanctions so much so that he can use or sell oil in USD or take advantage of our currency is not good. Ideally, sanctions will limit an enemy country's ability to take advantage of your currency or to sell oil in your currency, for example. So the fact that Putin now feels more comfortable trading in USD is not a good thing. Zelensky phones Trump and Elon. Yeah, no shit the president-elect is going to call Zelensky. That is normal. No matter who would have won, Zelensky would have hopped on the phone and chatted with them. It's almost even more scary the fact that Elon Musk was a part of this phone call because I have a few thought processes here. Number one, the fact that Elon Musk essentially bought access to the highest level phone calls.
Carrie Lake will probably spend the next fucking year just claiming that the election was stolen from her.
in the world is scary. Republicans will always say, oh, billionaire George Soros is influencing our politics. He wants to put a chip in people's brains and he's trying to influence Facebook. Elon Musk genuinely bought Twitter. He controls Twitter. He is now the inside man. And the biggest conversations happening in the world right now regarding war. At the same time, Elon Musk has been providing Starlink to Ukraine for years now. So I did read an article saying Elon Musk talking to Zelensky about Starlink isn't that weird. That can happen, but it is weird because Elon Musk has been talking to Putin more than he's been talking to Zelensky. So we need to differentiate the two. If Elon and Zelensky had a phone call about Starlink, that is different than Trump, Elon, and Zelensky all hopping on a phone. And I'm sure Elon and Trump tried to use some sort of leverage that Putin probably planted in their brain to get Zelensky to stop. I guarantee Putin is playing Elon and Trump like puppet masters. And I bet you to some degree Elon Musk is playing Donald Trump like a puppet master. Elon Musk knows Donald Trump is smooth-brained. He has a soft brain he can be taking control over. Anyways, on to this next one. The New York City mayor, Eric Adams, ends vouchers for illegal immigrants. They've been doing this for a while. They've been ramping down for a while, but Republicans are so caught up in the, oh, we're being invaded all around us. They don't care about the actual facts of the situation. They don't care about the fact that even since July, immigrant arrests have been lower than under Trump's administration. But yes, even with all that being said, after taking such a massive loss, I think the least that we can admit is that Biden did F up the immigration problem for a few years. The least that we can admit after taking this big L is that Joe Biden from 2021 to maybe 2023, we didn't have the most ideal immigration laws in place. And then Langford did try to pass a bill. Absolutely. Langford did try to pass a bill, but it kind of just looks weak when we try to pass a bill 6 months before the election after a few years of the border not being too smooth. And I still love Biden. Biden had an amazing presidency, but objectively, we can admit that. Also, we can objectively admit that since July, the immigrant arrests have been lower than Trump's last month in office. Let's move on to the next one. The next one says Mexico to stop migrants at the U.S. border. Again, this has been happening for a while now. So Republicans think that Mexico has been very intentionally sending immigrants over the border. Actually, Republicans think that Mexico has been intentionally sending the worst of the worst, like emptying out their prisons and sending them over here. That is not happening. Mexico.
That's because Trump heard the word asylum and he doesn't know what it means.
Has wanted to work with the United States for a while now. They've been in talks for a while now. Mexico didn't randomly flip a switch 24 hours ago. There was literally one headline that said Mexico in talks with Trump to blah blah blah, and people think that means Trump has immediately solved the problem. When no, Mexico was never emptying out their prisons. It's just not something that wanted to happen. Big U.S. company to move out of China, and someone on Reddit said what's more accurate would be, quote, luxury shoe brand moves half its operations out of China and most likely to Vietnam to avoid tariffs on goods bound for the U.S. from China. So basically, Trump has been trying to tariff China, and now that U.S. companies are moving out of China and manufacturing in other countries like Vietnam, they're trying to take that as a win, spin that as a win. Okay, so the broader point here is this is a list compiled out of headlines, and the scary part is while I was reading this list, I'm pretty sure it went up about 10,000 likes on Twitter. It was at like 104, 105 at some point. So people are still boosting this, even though it's literally just a bunch of terrible headlines cut up. I illustrated that throughout this video. There's a headline about Hamas calls for ceasefire, false. There's a headline about migrant caravans, false. We can go look at the past 5 years of the S&P 500. They said it's only been hitting all-time highs over the past few days, false. It's been hitting all-time highs. It dipped, of course, all-time highs. So going back to this, we are fighting a massive right-wing ecosystem where they constantly spew disinformation, and the onus is now on us to push back. When we have people like Tucker Carlson, people like Dan Bongino, people like Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, the list goes on and on. There are hundreds of them at this point. They're all lockstep in message. They never deviate from the message. They don't infight during election years. We have a lot of work to do on the liberal left side. Right now,
yeah, it's 100% edited. Or old or something. It's not real.
Building the groundwork for that. You know, a few months back, I thought that this was just a fun YouTube channel that was pushing our liberal ideas. But after this election, it looks like YouTube is the direction that the entire media space is going. It looks like this fun little YouTube channel that we built could actually end up being instrumental to future elections, if you guys get where I'm going. So drop a like, subscribe, become a part of this community. Thank you guys, and peace out.
Republicans, I don't know. They're just wilding out. I don't even fucking know. Waiting on their Nasara, I guess. Got to get that Gasara in there. They're just waiting on it. By the way, Joe Rogan admitted today that, I guess elections aren't rigged and voting really does work. After all this time where he's like, I think it's pre-selected. I don't know. I don't even think that voting works. And are you sure that the votes are even counted? There's a lot of weird. And he let Trump spew all that shit about Wisconsin. Basically just admitted they stole the election. They just come out and admitted they did it. And then he asked Trump for evidence, and Trump just kept changing the topic over and over and over. He even asked him, are you going to come out with this? Is this something you're going to like present? Is this something you're going to do? He just sidestepped the entire question. Well, after Trump won, Joe Rogan come on his podcast. He's like, I guess voting really does work. Yeah, that's what everybody's been saying. That's what everybody's been saying, except for you fucking retards. Everybody else has been saying that. Voting works.
I have no idea why Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to say the thing that you're about to hear her say, because strategically, PR-wise, I can't imagine Republican leadership likes this, but she let something slip that at least she believes Trump's election means something very disturbing. As you're listening to this clip from a recent interview post Trump's victory, please do, if you want to support the show, click the subscribe button on YouTube and help us grow.
Are you looking forward to an easier time in Congress under the Trump administration? What's something you're looking forward to, I would say?
You know, here's one thing I would like to point out. They've attacked me continuously, called me radical fringe extremists. You know what they found out today? President Trump will have over 5 million of the popular vote ahead of Kamala Harris. He will, by the time this is done, likely have 312 electoral college votes. The message that was shot across the bow is, guess what? The American people, the voters that voted for Trump overwhelmingly, they are MTG. MTG is not radical or extreme. She's mainstream America, and I am very much looking forward to working in an administration that is on that level. And we have to get it done. We made a lot of big promises on the campaign trail, and now we have to deliver.
You hear that? You hear that, America? He
still looks like he's been crying. I don't know.
MTG. You are what we are about to walk through. A stunning thing for her to say, given her track record. We'll get to her past in a second here. But first, right before the election, her last rally appearance at a Trump rally, she just up to her normal Marjorie things. This is what America is, according to Marjorie.
And let's talk about the past 4 years that we have been through. Never forget it was the Democrats that shut this country down during COVID.
Ooh.
Never forget it was the Democrats who hurt people's speech, free speech.
Never forget.
They shut down churches. They shut down beaches. They shut down playgrounds. They kept schools closed. If you're someone in this audience tonight and it's your first time voting.
So that's your first example.
Under Joe Biden, or under Donald Trump, right? Joe Biden wasn't even in office yet.
Democrats for something that took place primarily while Trump was president. So that's why we should elect him again. When he said, by the way, that his power and control was total and complete. Absolute was the term? One of those terms he used to describe that he has complete power. And I might let governors do what they want, but I have the ultimate power, which was a crazy thing for him to say. But by that logic, you then have to blame him for all that stuff. And I'd like Marjorie Taylor Greene to answer for the fact that we've now learned after the vaccine was rolled out, the death rate for Republicans in this country was twice that of Democrats.
Now, they'll come up with something crazy like it was fucking the Chinese made it to only attack Republicans because they knew they would vote for Trump, and that's bad for China because they don't want to pay tariffs. That is a bad statistic. So after the vaccine was rolled out, the death rate for Republicans was twice as high as the death rate for Democrats.
I wonder why that could possibly be. It wasn't such a large gap.
We never hear anybody complain that they didn't take the vaccine. I wonder why that is.
And then the vaccine came out, and the Republicans started dying at much higher rates because they weren't taking the vaccine because of misinformation espoused by people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's heartbreaking, but it's the reality. But she says it was some conspiracy to lock us down by the Democrats while Trump was president, so put Trump back in so he can prevent the things that the Democrats did while he was president and Republicans also did. That's America. She thinks America is not smart enough to see through that. She thinks this represents America.
The hypocrisy is unbelievable. Have those conversations with people. Say, okay, Kamala Harris wants to take away guns. She wants to take away semi-automatic guns. Guess what? That's most guns. Most guns are semi-automatic. Right. But every single man or woman that is providing protection for her is carrying one of the weapons that she wants to ban. This is a conversation you have to have with people. Kamala Harris also will ban free speech. She doesn't want you to be able to speak and say things like we should have taken ivermectin instead of been forced to take vaccines.
Ivermectin, guys.
She dog. Let's take the thing that's been proven to not work for COVID. Let's take the advice of the person that we took the advice of and then end up dying twice the rate of Democrats. Oh, dog. America. Yes. Yes. That's America to Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm heartbroken that so many voters are trying desperately to prove her right.
She doesn't want you to say that there's problems with the elections. She doesn't want you to complain. And we're watching it happen all over the world. We're watching Brazil ban X. We're watching other countries ban free speech.
I wonder why Brazil banned eggs. That's weird.
This will definitely happen in America if Kamala Harris becomes president. Because who is she? She's that prosecutor, right? That tough prosecutor. Yeah. She's tough. She wants to crack down on Donald Trump and his supporters. And she'll use the government to do it. They're already doing it. See, that's another thing. When we say this is what she...
And of course they're not. And I've already gone over this clip, but she thinks it's hypocritical for law enforcement to have weapons that we don't think everyone should have. Yeah, obviously. That's not hypocritical. That's exactly the policy we're articulating. the military and certain law enforcement will have access, as they already do, to certain weaponry that an average person out there probably doesn't need to have. But that's the side that won the election. Isn't that just brilliant? And in the wake of it, Marjorie goes, I am America. I represent all of you, all of the people who voted for Trump in her eyes. I'm not even saying this, but I want all of you, because I've met a lot of you who voted for Trump, and you say, I hate Marjorie Taylor Greene. She thinks you are her. And a lot of my fellow liberals think that too. I try not to, because that's overgeneralizing, and I would be really depressed if I thought that. But that's the message you send to the world. You put up Marjorie and you said, this is the representative of the most powerful country on the planet. Yes. Because she's right. Her movement, her ideology, her insanity is bolstered by a Trump win. She's right about that. That's what you gave her. Great job. As a reminder of some of her past, we did a whole video. You can see here.
I think the photo you sent may be just an old photo.
Called, that. And lots of you watched it. Very cool. But it was called Investigate.
Oh, X has been so wild. And then, like, that White Dudes for Harris page raised like $3 million for Harris in a night, and then they were banned the next day. Like crazy.
Greene,
right?
and the little parts of it was this. Here's what Marjorie Greene said about the supposed leader of QAnon.
Q is a patriot. We know that for sure, but we do not know who Q is.
She also said, quote, I'm very excited about that now. There's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take this global cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles out, and I think we have the president to do it. Oh, Marjorie. Now, this video would become way too long if we really dove into every single insane thing Marjorie has ever believed in. Like Pizzagate, the conspiracy theory that led to a shooting at a pizzeria by a believer of it. But before...
So the Trump supporters already believe that I'm a full-blown commie, socialist, fucking Marxist, devil worshiping, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna go full on, right? Like I'm fucking going for it. We'll just fucking destroy them with facts. Might as well. Like there is no reaching them. They're just fucking retarded. So instead, we just destroy them.
Before we move on from conspiracy...
Welcome to the villain era. This will be season 3. The villain last season was the villain origin story. So it was the death of my parents, the situation I've been in, then the fucking all the issues we had going on, then the fucking flood, then the election. That was origin story. Now is the villain era.
Theories and into something somehow more disturbing, we do of course have to include this.
A now deleted Facebook post, Green questioned whether California's deadly campfire in 2018 was started by lasers beamed down from outer space. Lasers, she says, somehow connected to the Rothschilds, the Jewish...
And the Jews. The Rothschilds and the Jews shoot space lasers to cause wildfires.
Space lasers.
I think Marjorie Taylor Greene watches Phil.
The next important characteristic of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then we go on from there. You can find that on the homepage of the channel, but often I'll talk to Republicans and they'll say, stop it. About, that's the exact tone of voice they use. Stop it. Ugh.
I'm calling it. I've seen a couple different people analyze it. I do not think that Trump will put a tariff. Hold on. I do not think that Trump will put a tariff on Chinese steel. I know he says everything from China. I know he says that. He's talking about 100%. He's talking about 50%. He's talking about 10%. I don't know. I don't think that he will put a tariff on Chinese steel. And the reason I think that is because right now we are drilling so much oil. And when we're drilling oil, a byproduct of that is LNG, natural gas, right? And we are making so much natural gas, and we are making so much money on it. Trump is a puppet for big oil. He always has been. That was the fucking OPEC deal that basically caused all the inflation. That was already submitted before they even talked to him about it. Big oil came to him and they're like, you're just going to do this and we're going to blame it on you. And he's like, okay. There is so much LNG that goes to China right now. So much. And I think if he puts a tariff on Chinese steel, I think China will go somewhere else for the majority of their natural gas, which will hurt big oil a lot. natural LNG is not only a byproduct, but it's got to be shipped. You can't just vent it, right? It's got to be taken. It's got to go somewhere. Even if we just want to make gas and diesel, there's going to be LNG produced, and it's got to go somewhere. Or we start cutting back fucking wells. And we start cutting back wells, that makes the price rise, right? Supply and demand. I don't think it'll happen.
Okay. About the emphasis that I put on people like Marjorie. But maybe it's time for me to just admit, in a very rare case here, she is 100% correct about the fact that Trump just branded this country as more Marjorie than we thought. And that should disturb you. That should make you regretful if you voted for Trump. Because you blamed things. I don't want to get back into this whole thing, but you blamed things on Biden and Harris that actually they were handling better than Trump ever would, and were global phenomena. So you said, you know how we kicked out Trump because he mismanaged that crisis and made it so difficult for Biden and Harris to pull us out of it, but we're still going to blame them for the price
Somebody's got to teach you guys how to fucking troll.
issues that came of that crisis that Trump handed them and mismanaged? Let's put Trump back in. What about that? I'm not going to understand it other than looking at how economic things like that often throughout history, regardless of the rationality of them, drive voting decisions, even when it's wildly irrational. I get that that's a thing, but I don't get how it makes any sense for people. And so now you're left. And I try so hard. I do. But for today, you're left being told that you, America, are synonymous with Marjorie. And I can't believe that. That's what she wants people to believe, though. That's what she's broadcasting to the world and disturbing people. So next time that you have the chance to, you best make sure you prove her wrong.
Uh-oh.
Let me know what you thought in the comments. Yes, I'm trying to speak positively. Not say positive words, but put a positive tone that comes out. Just so you don't go crazy. I'm mindful of that. It doesn't match what we're talking about. I get it. I'm trying to smile through the pain. If you support that and if you appreciate it, click the join button below to become a member.
Luke Beasley, everybody. Give me just a second. I'm pulling up a TikTok video. Are you retarded? We're drilling more oil than any other country ever in the history of the world. What do you mean, did I claim it? No, it's just the truth. Even more than under Trump. Right now, no one in the history has ever drilled more oil, produced more oil, ever.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm voting.
Okay, who are you voting for?
I'm voting for the leopard to eat your face party. So.
Oh, really? Why?
So the leopard said he was going to eat like a lot of people's faces, and that's a value and a belief that I hold really dear. So I'm going to vote for him.
Okay, sounds like your mind's made up. Well, you know, good luck. I hope everything works out for you. I hope you eat.
That's why Trump's plan of drill, baby, drill doesn't make any fucking sense. Big oil companies have already come out and said that they're going to prioritize profits. They're not just going to drill for the fuck of it, right, and tank the market. They're going to prioritize profits. There's no limit. They could open more wells right now if they wanted to. There's nothing stopping them. We're making more. We're producing more than we've ever had before as a country, and more than any other country in the world.
Really dear. So I'm going to vote for him.
Okay, sounds like your mind's made up. Well, you know, good luck. I hope everything works out for you. I hope he eats your face.
What? I'm voting for the face eating party. I hope he eats your face. I hope you get what you're voting for.
Vote for him.
Okay, sounds like
I'm voting for the leopard to eat your face party.
Leopards who eat your face party.
Oh, really? Why?
So the leopard said he was going to eat like a lot of people's faces, and that's a value and a belief that I hold really dear. So I'm going to vote for him.
Okay, sounds like your mind's made up. Well, you know, good luck. I hope everything works out for you. I hope he eats your face.
What?
Oh, I said, you know, I hope he eats your face. You know, because that's what you wanted. I hope he eats your face. I'm just trying to, like, wish you luck.
What
For 6 years in a row, we've led global oil production.
Kind of fucked up person
Uh-oh.
ever wish
Uh-oh.
someone else. No, I don't want that. I don't want him to eat. You voted for that because you wanted them to eat your face, so I... No, you stupid bitch. I wanted him to eat other people's faces.
Again, this is like people are getting mad right now because people on TikTok are saying, I hope you get everything that you voted for. I hope you get everything you voted for. And they're like, what the fuck? Why would you wish that on another woman or another man or a Latino man? Or, well, I hope you get everything you voted for.
Okay. But doesn't it say on like his whole platform that you're like the prime demographic of like faces that he would probably eat? Yeah, but I'm different. I don't think so. You are so fucked up and evil and disgusting. You're evil. Okay.
You are retarded then. I understand. For 6 years, we've led global oil production. That goes across 2 administrations. A president serves for 4 years. For 6 years.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm voting. Okay, who are you voting for? I'm voting for the leopard to eat your face party. So. Oh, really? Why? So the leopard said he was going to eat like a lot of people's faces, and that's a value and a belief that I hold really dear. So I'm going to vote for him. Okay, sounds like your mind's made up. Well, good luck. I hope everything works out for you. I hope he eats your face. What? Oh, I said, I hope he eats your face. Because that's what you wanted. I hope he eats your face. I'm just trying to wish you luck. What kind of fucked up person would ever wish that on someone else? No, I don't want that. I don't want him to eat. You voted for that because you wanted them to eat your face, so I... No, you stupid bitch. I wanted him to eat other people's faces. Okay. But doesn't it say on his whole platform that you're like the prime demographic of faces that he would probably eat? Yeah, but I'm different. I don't think so. You are so fucked up and evil and disgusting. You're evil. Okay.
I guess you had to respond to it. Hold on.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen.
Thanks for being inclusive. There you go. Good job. Hawk Ford Husky says, I welcome your pronouns and I will use them appropriately. There you go, Dr. J. You made a friend.
What makes you cheer? Every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem.
More money to donate to more pro-choice charities. Damn.
So obviously, it's not a shocker that a lot of us are in the anger stage of grief right now. I am, for sure, obviously. But I was talking to my friends the other day, and our big thing was I wish we did more. And that's such a common thought amongst a lot of people. Is I should have been canvassing, I should have been doing this, I should have been doing that. I was okay, I'm gonna donate, a portion of the proceeds I got from that video to pro-choice causes, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But a couple people had asked for...
Actually, it was all caused by Trump's OPEC deal. If you want to see statistics on that, how Trump caused inflation, I've got it for you from the man himself. We have to show this to every fucking MAGA retard because they don't understand how things work.
So I want to show you something that I have never showed you before, and it's going to be interesting. The end of it's really going to piss you off, though. So this is U.S. gas prices between April of 2020 and May 1st of 2022. This is
Remember those dates.
U.S. inflation between April of 2020 and May 1st of 2022. This
April 1st of 2020 and May 1st of 2022. Why is inflation going up? The cost of every good is going up. Global inflation is going up from May 1st of 2020 to April 1st of 2020, or from April 1st, 2020 to May 1st, 2022.
Is global inflation between April of 2020 and May 1st of 2022. And this is the one that's going to piss you off. This is the price of bacon between April of 2020 and May 1st of 2022.
And then everything goes down immediately after that. It's weird.
Represents a $2 increase per pound. Now, you can look up the price of about anything between April of 2020 and May 1st of 2022 and come up with those results that I just showed you.
Everything from May of 2020 to April of 2022 across the board, across the world, went up in inflation. Wonder what else happened during those dates.
Now, do you know what started in April of 2020 and ended May 1st of 2022? Do you know what caused this?
I bet you don't.
This, and most importantly, the bacon. That is correct. The OPEC 2020 deal, which Donald Trump brokered and agreed to. 10% between April of expired May 1st, 2022. And that is when gas prices.
Oh no.
Global inflation.
Yeah, we have rules in chat here, so no matter who puts it, it gets deleted.
Started to drop.
I'm not tolerant. I think you're a fucking retard.
As inflation began to drop, and most importantly, the price of bacon.
Everything dropped. Weird.
Started to drop. Thanks.
Damn it. It's fucking weird. Everything coincides with Trump's horrible OPEC deal he was so proud of. Again and 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 again. It coincides perfectly. Weird.
Shirts. Listen. I know what you're thinking. Oh, when
Little dick energy, I think's the rule.
a person goes viral and has merch, it's cringy. I know, but just hear me out. I did make merch, but because I realized I have few talents in this world, one of which is apparently yapping on the internet. So if I can use my yapping on the internet skills to translate to actual change, I should do that. So I did make merch, and if you want to buy it, that's awesome. And if you don't want to buy it, that's also super cool. Like, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for contributing in that way. I don't expect any money from you in any way, shape, or form. But if you want the shirt or the tote bag, or whatever I'm doing, part of those posts.
She said I was wearing 6-inch.
Wait, isn't that what you've been doing since you got here? With stupid, childish, petty insults? Have you ever heard of your own medicine and how it tastes? What a miserable cunt. Take the cross off because you are the furthest thing from a believer in Christ that can be. Trump won. Now deal with it. Trump, the Christian.
Louboutins to court with my tweed outfit.
Jeff, did you read the Vanity Fair article?
I wasn't wearing Louboutins. I was wearing little brown kid meals. She said I was wearing 6-inch Louboutins to court with my tweed outfit.
Jeff, did you read the Vanity Fair article?
I wasn't wearing Louboutins. I was wearing little.
I'm celebrating. Am I not allowed to gloat? Not today. Try again tomorrow. It's a dagger, not a cross.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm voting. Okay, who are you voting for? I'm voting for the
If he couldn't get into the U.S., the Republicans would ban him from the border. Jesus was an immigrant.
leopard to eat your face party.
And he was not white. He was very much brown.
Oh, really? Why? So the leopard said he was going to eat like a lot of people's faces, and that's a value and a belief that I hold really dear. So
that's the one we just watched.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen.
this is going to be a little bit of a controversial opinion, okay? But I am rooting for the women who voted for Trump. I really am. I'm rooting for them. Okay, so this is my message directly to them, okay? I hope, and I mean this, I hope that you get everything that you voted for. I'm going to take it a step further. I hope that everything you voted for affects
you personally. Lower gas prices? I hope you get that, Queen. I really do. I also hope that you are not able to get that family you've always wanted because IVF is no longer available.
Uh-oh.
I hope you are in desperate and dire need
Oh, no.
of medical attention, but everywhere you go, no medical professional is willing to help you. I hope that as you fear for your life and are potentially dying, that you have nothing else to worry about but what will come of the children that you left behind in this world. I hope that after a traumatic pregnancy loss, that you are taken to court. And I hope that you are questioned by a bunch of people that you do not know to determine whether or not they think you terminated that pregnancy on purpose. I hope that you have to relive that pregnancy loss over and over and over again in that courtroom.
Litigated.
In a jail cell, who knows? I hope that you cannot afford childcare. I hope that you have to give up every career aspiration you've ever had, every hobby, anything you've ever liked, and sacrifice it in order to stay home with your children. I hope that this takes such a toll on your family and your financial status, because living off of one income, if that, is already difficult enough, but you can't find any resources to help because you voted to end welfare. I hope that when your children come of school age, that you send them off to school and you do nothing but sit all day and wonder if they're ever going to come home. I hope they come home hungry, because like I said, you don't have a job.
Be better than coming home without parental permission for a sex change from one of your commie schools.
You send them off to do childcare because you can't afford childcare.
How many times did Trump say that kids go to school and sometimes without their parents' knowledge or at all, but specifically he would say without the parents even knowing, they came back a different gender and had sex reassignment surgery? And how many kids can you point to? Besides zero, none. There isn't any.
Childcare, you don't have welfare, and God knows you're not getting free school lunches, okay? And I hope they come home and they
She didn't say you shouldn't want low gas prices. She said she hopes you get everything you voted for.
treat you like dog shit. I really do. Because in school, one thing that they used to teach was empathy. Now that's some woke shit, so they don't do that anymore, okay? And all they know from what you voted for, from what the school teaches, from what their dad says, from what anybody says, that no matter how different you think you are from other women in this country, at the end of the day, you are just a woman, okay? And women are not deserving of respect. You taught them that. You taught them that. Because you elected a sexist, racist, homophobic, rapist to office over a qualified woman. They saw that. They know. And they're not exactly smart. Because once again, from the education out the window, okay? All they know is women dumb, mom woman. I hate that bitch.
It's not stuff she doesn't like. It's stuff that you voted for. Stuff that Trump supports. Stuff that Trump will try to implement. It's not stuff she doesn't like. It's stuff, it's his platform.
And they're going to treat you like dog shit. I really hope they do.
Including low gas prices.
After all that, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do all this again. I can't go through no health care. I can't take care of another kid who's going to treat me like dog shit. I can't do this again. And I hope that your husband says no to you getting contraception because you voted to give him that right. I hope he says no. And I know this is a long video. People are not going to get to the end before they comment. That's fucked up. That is so messed up. How could you ever wish on somebody? I agree. It's not something that I would normally wish on my worst enemy, but guess what? Not only did you wish that on all of your fellow American women, but you voted for someone who vowed to put those practices into action. And you made that choice for all of us. So yes, I hope you get exactly what you voted for. Because if someone told me, I hope you get exactly what you voted for, I'd be like, thanks, Queen. I know, because it would make the world a better place. So if you are offended by that, maybe rethink who the fuck you voted for. And I'll end it with this. My last hope for you, my last wish, okay, is that if you are ever sexually assaulted, okay, I hope that you scream from the rooftops who did it and what they did to you. I hope that you tell everyone you've ever loved, everyone you've ever cared about, everyone that you ever thought respected you as a person. And I want those screams to fall on deaf ears. And I want those same people who you told and thought respected you to take this man and lift him up to the highest position of power over you. And when you cry, when you ask why, and when you wonder why they would do such a thing, I want them to look you dead in the eyes, and say, well, you promised me you might get cheaper gas prices. I wish that for you. I wish all of that for you. Happy day for you. Victory. This is going to be a little bit of a controversial opinion, okay? But I am rooting for the women who voted for Trump. I really am. I'm rooting for them. Okay, so this is my message directly to them, okay?
Isn't that a character's name or some shit? Hope you get what you voted for.
And then Jesus
The Church of Trump.
said,
Did you guys see back in October where Oklahoma made it mandatory that in grade schools they have to teach the Bible? It's supposed to be It's supposed to stay out of like religious dogma, but they have to teach the Bible. And then the Bibles they wanted them to buy had to be a leather or leather-like bound Bible. It had to be King James Version. It had to include the Declaration, right? The Constitution, and the Bill of Rights inside of it. So people started looking like, this is a very specific Bible. I've never seen a whole lot of country. Oh, and the Pledge of Allegiance. I've never seen like all these things in like one Bible. Like that sounds very, very, very specific. So they started looking it up, and the only Bible that qualified was Trump's Bible that he's selling with Lee Greenwood. It was the only Bible that qualified. Weird.
And then Jesus said unto the sick, you better have good health insurance in no pre-existing conditions. Then Jesus...
They got busted on it, so they had to remove some of the restrictions so they could buy from different vendors, but yeah.
In conditions. Then Jesus said unto the stranger, are you here legally? And do you have papers? Then Jesus said unto the hungry, my taxes better not be paying for that bread and those fish. Then Jesus said unto the poor, this is your own fault. Pick thyself up by thy bootstraps.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No, I want to play. Jimmy Kimmel actually tried to reach across the aisle, actually tried to make a video explaining what's going on, showing Trump's own promises, the things he said, blah, blah. I don't think I can play it because I'll get a copyright strike over on YouTube, which is where the replay's at. But it's like a 17-minute video of him trying to reach across the aisle and actually talk to people. Like they're intelligent. They're not, right?
Hello. If you're seeing this video on your feed right now and you follow me and you voted for Donald Trump, I would like you to unfollow me right now, please. Thank you. Bye. I don't want you. I don't want you in my space, baby. I don't want you to be supporting me. I don't want to make this anymore from you. It's disgusting. I've lost over 500 followers the last couple of days because I've been very vocal about how I feel about the MAGA morons. And to know that that many people were supporting me, disgusting. Don't like it. Never have. I make content for everybody. This is a very safe space, I would say. I love everybody to feel included. But this is not a political thing. This is human rights. So if you support that guy, I just don't want you here. I don't want you here. I don't care if you've been following me for years. I don't care for mutuals. I don't respect you. I think you're trash. You might think I'm trash. That's fine. So go away. I don't want you in my space. Do you understand? Go away. Stop supporting me. Stop following me. I want to see the numbers drop because I know that there's a lot of Trump supporters that follow me.
Uh-oh. Taking a stand.
For my mental health, for my sanity, I can't be doing this anymore. I can't pretend that I'm like, oh, well, you know, we all have different beliefs, I guess, which we do, but I don't want you in my treehouse. So, bye.
I like this guy's content, though. He's pretty funny. He's a comedian. But he does these JD Vance skits we've been watching.
In the park as a human does, and I thought I would interact with some other humans that I come across. Here comes one now. Hello, I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president. Hi, it's nice to meet you. So how long have you been walking for? Today or in general? Okay, good. Wait. I think this is going pretty good so far. Oh, I spot a motherly figure with a smaller human being. Hi, I'm JD Vance. How old are you, little girl? I'm 8. 8? Oh, wow. I was 8 once. How about you, Mom? Were you ever 8? Was I ever 8? Okay, good. Mom, can we go home? Yes, honey. Run to the car. Oh, would you look at that? Another human being with a smaller creature attached to a leash. Hi, I'm JD Vance. What's that? Are you asking what kind of breed he is? For how long? For how old he is or how long I've had him? How long have you been walking? I'm sorry, are you asking how our walk? Okay, good.
Okay, good.
People, here comes another one now. Hi, I'm JD Vance. How did you install those little wheels under your feet? You mean my rollerblades? Okay, good. So how long have you been walking? Walking where? Okay, good.
My vessel is starting to crave food. I think the next person that I encounter, I'm going to ask them where a donut shop is. Hi, I'm JD Vance, Vice President running. Nearest donut shop location, please. That'll be Beanie's on 7th Street. JD Vance rerouting. Thanks. Okay, good. All right, have a good day. I'm enjoying a leisurely stroll in the park as a human does, and I thought I would interact with some other humans that I come across. Here comes one now.
That's a troll account. It was created 8 hours ago. Don't worry about it. I turn on sub only mode.
Hello, I'm JD Vance. I'm running for Vice President.
You can chat, but you're going to have to pay me.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. So how long have you been walking?
He had a few of them maybe. I thought he had a couple of them, but that was the park one was a pretty funny one. He's a pretty funny comedian. These are the people that remember the chase glitch.
That participated in this chase glitch fiasco. How did you get this far in life? I need to know. There's no way that you did.
These are the people that figured out that they could take a check, write it to themselves for like $5,000, deposit in their Chase ATM, and say it's for $5,000, even if they didn't write anything on the check. Just put the check in, claim it's for $5,000, and they would have those funds available immediately. But they did it on their own accounts with their own debit cards, standing in front of an ATM with a camera and their fucking face on it. And then they got mad. They were calling it the Chase money glitch. Then they got mad because Chase came after them for their money.
Didn't think you were going to get away with this, did you? We're in the future. It's 2024. Everything's electronic. It's got your name, your account number. It's all going back to you.
All those accounts were basically, I don't know where they're from, but they were all fucking together. They all came in at the same time or got their friends to come over or whatever. They can still chat. Pay me $5 Come chat all you want.
This wasn't a truck full of cash that flipped over on the freeway and you got to get out and just go collect it. This is going to come back to you. Did you really think Chase was going to be like, oh, guess this guy wrote himself a check for $100,000. Yeah, it's his now. You really didn't think that, did you? Like, really?
Because a lot of a check is handwritten, all it was really gathering was the routing number and the account numbers, right? And then it just took your word for it. Especially a lot of times well, at least my bank, I have a smaller bank. So once you've been with them for a year, they basically take your word for it on mobile deposits, ATM deposits, shit like that, and go ahead and front you the money. And then if something happens, they come back for their money, like the check bounces or whatever. But these idiots just found out that it was a thing, and then they thought it was free money.
Really? Did you actually believe that? That you were going to get... Who started this, by the way? This had to have been...
What's up, Nestor?
There's no way that Chase shared this information with you. This had to have been a TikTok. So apparently, if you blah, 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 and then it just spread. Because you guys, you can't be this stupid. There's absolutely no way.
Oh, no. A bunch of the people that were just talking shit, just to be talking shit in the chat, just left. Where'd you guys go? When I turn on sub-only chat, you just dip the fuck out? Damn. Where'd you go?
Well, I really am, because I know that you're not in the position. You're not the type of person that is going
fucking idiots.
Well off enough to not worry about this, because everybody needs money, obviously, but I feel like those who did this were really struggling, and now you're gonna struggle a lot more because there's gonna be charges. This is a serious thing. This is not an oopsie. I can't believe that people actually were like writing themselves checks thinking this is gonna work. Look at you now. To the people that participated in this chase glitch fiasco, how did you...
It was kind of crazy that they thought it would fucking work. I wish I'm just going to play the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Somebody that's watching on, I think it was honestly, like, Jimmy Kimmel may be like too far, like he may have already went too far in some of his rhetoric, or they don't like anybody talking bad about their fucking MAGA, right? Their MAGA leader.
Black people need to stop complaining.
So they may have went he may have went too far already, but he did try, right? He did try to fucking reach across the aisle. He did try to talk to them as if they were adults. He did try to use logic and reason. They just can't cope with it, right? Trump said this bad.
Is for Republicans. So if
That's right.
Is for
Save up your tariff money. Come back and sub.
Republicans. So if you have someone in your life who is either planning to vote for Trump or thinking about it, I would like you to send this to a Republican you love and respect with a request. Ask them to watch this whole thing as a personal favor to you. And I promise I won't make you regret it because it's not going to be our usual roast of Trump or some kind of liberal virtue signaling. None of that. In fact, I'm going to open with a joke about a Democrat for a change. President Biden, remember him, the man who disappeared? President Biden was in Delaware over the weekend where he went into a Joseph A. Bank, which is puzzling. Why did he go into a Joseph A. Bank? Well, it turns out
He got lost.
his social security check, but they didn't have an ATM. No ATM. So, all right, so let's begin. Well, first, for those of you who don't ever watch, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe you remember me from the Man Show. We had
The Man Show. That's right.
the trampolines, good times, right? We had fun. But now times are less fun. We're a week away from an election, and we are very divided. And not just because of Donald Trump, because of people like, if I'm being honest, me. I do a lot of mocking and belittling, and it isn't always productive. Am I biased against Donald Trump? Yes. Do I think I have good reasons for being biased against him? Yes. And I'm probably wrong, but I think when you hear some of those reasons, you might agree with me even just a little bit. Now, I assume you're watching this because you care about the person who asked you to watch it, or maybe you're just open-minded and not afraid to hear somebody who might not agree with you speak. Either way, thank you for giving me 15 minutes of your life to talk about Donald Trump. Or maybe you love him and you'll vote for him no matter what he says or what he does. Maybe you hate the other side so much you'll look past anything he says or does. Maybe there's a little voice in the back of your head saying, I might not want this guy driving the bus. And if you're one of those people who think Democrats are controlling the weather or Beyonce eats baby skin, forget it. This is not going to help at all. This is not for you. But what I'm asking you to hear isn't what I have to say. That doesn't matter. I want to hear what he's saying. Most Americans, and you are probably one of them, don't have time to watch his rallies and his speeches and all the interviews because you have other things to do. But I don't have other things to do. This is all I have to do. And because I don't have other things to do, I've seen all or at least part of every interview, every speech, every all-caps social media post from this man for the...
So he's going to go over clips of stuff Trump's actually said and done, right? Like it's not like he's making up jokes or doing this or putting a spin on it. He's going to use Trump's own words. But not even, this can't reach anybody. They're too indoctrinated already.
For the past 9 years. And I'm not going to bore you with the old stuff. I'm not going to rehash the grab him by the tape or the insults to John McCain or Stormy Daniels or the wall he didn't get Mexico to pay for. I'm not even going to bring up the stuff that has been written about him, even though we've heard some disturbing things from a lot of people he hired to work for him. I'm only going to focus on words that came out of his mouth because I think you might be surprised when you hear some of them. Now, since day one...
By the way, Trump is already rebuilding the swamp. He's got a... chief of staff, a female chief of staff is from like Big Pharma and a bunch of other weird ties to like BlackRock and shit. Like, and I know they'll use this excuse. They'll say, because like in 6 months, he's going to have fired everybody and rehired different people and tried a different person and said, this person's horrible. Look at how fat their neck is. The excuse the first time around is he didn't realize how bad Washington was. He had bad advisors. They gave him bad advice. They can't use that again, or they shouldn't be able to. They will, but they shouldn't be able to use that again, right? He's had time to think. He's had time to make lists. He's had time to meet everybody. He had 4 years of a break to think about it again. Like, he ought to be able to hire these people, but it won't. It'll be turmoil, and people will be leaving and coming and going. And as soon as they go, he'll say they did the greatest job ever. But as soon as they come out and say one little thing that slots him on a news channel or in an interview, then it'll be that fat neck son of a bitch. Did you see how little their fucking legs were? You know what I mean? So we shouldn't let them use that excuse, but they will use that excuse.
One, Trump has been telling us he's going to make America great again. Since 2015, he's been saying he wants to abolish Obamacare. He wants to replace it with something better. He says he has a plan. He says that over and over and over again.
We have no choice but to absolutely replace Obamacare, and we're going to come up with a much better plan. We're going to come up with a great health plan, and this is a great plan. Where do you see the plans?
Where do you see it? Guys, where do you see this plan?
Coming out, an additional plan coming out in
a great plan.
A short period of time. We're going to have fantastic health care, and the plan is coming.
An additional plan.
Signing a health care plan within 2 weeks.
9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care.
So just yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. We already have the concept of the plan, and it'll be we'll be announcing that in about 2 months.
In about 2 months. That was
2 months.
We still haven't seen a plan for health.
That was 5 years ago. He was going to announce his plan in 2 months.
Who works for you? Well, let's say it's your barber promises to present you with a plan for trimming your hair over and over again for 9 years and never does. You probably fire that person. You probably get a new barber because your hair would be down to your ass. Donald Trump was president for 4 years. You would think that at this point he would have some answers, some kind of plans for simple questions about subjects like healthcare.
The sad part is he doesn't need the answers, right? All he has to say is, there's bad, I'm good, I got it, don't worry. Sir, what specific legislation would you use for child care? You know, child care is a big issue in America, especially if both parents are working. What specific legislation would you be in favor of? Child care is child care, and I'm talking about big numbers here, so that'll take care of itself. If anybody else said this stupid shit and he hadn't built a cult following, they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, they don't give Kamala Harris any credit on her interviews, and she's not the greatest interviewer. She's not the greatest speaker. She's not the greatest debater. She's not an Obama, right? Obama was incredibly good at those things. But if Kamala Harris said child care is child care, the numbers I'm talking about are gigantic, and it'll take care of itself. That would be the most viral clip ever of her.
And childcare. But every time they ask him one of these simple questions, like what actual steps are you going to take to lower the cost of childcare?
Oh, I didn't know he's getting ready to do that one.
He doesn't even try to answer. He just tap dances.
Can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk...
So he says, what he's saying right now is in his first term that Marco Rubio and Ivanka Trump were so impactful on that issue. Now, I have kids. Nothing about our child care changed whatsoever, right? There still was none. There was no help with it. So I don't know what the fuck Ivanka and Marco Rubio did in his first term, but it didn't affect me and my kids or anybody else's kids I've talked to.
Impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because look, child care is child care. It's good and good. It's something you have to have it.
Child care is child care. You can't argue with that. He's like a child who didn't do his book report. The only children whose care he seems to care about are the children who are being forcibly sex changed at school. Now, I understand this is a tough subject for people to understand, but this alarm he keeps sounding about forced sex change operations, this is not happening. This is imaginary.
Right. Even the people that are like, this shouldn't happen, or you have to be an adult to make your decision. This is just a scare tactic. There are no schools that are doing sex changes at school. What the fuck are you talking about? Just the same way there are no schools with litter boxes. There's still people that come in my chat and think that's true. To this day.
Problem. But Donald Trump would like us to believe that our children's penises are in grave danger.
Your child goes to school, and they don't even call you, and they change the sex of your child. Perform
They don't even call you. They change your child's sex.
sex change operation and send them back home. Make the boy into a girl and not tell the parents. Your boy leaves the school, comes back a girl. It was a he.
When has this ever happened anywhere at any point in time? Ever.
And comes back a she. You say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation and often without parental.
And so, like, people at first were defending him and saying, oh, what he's talking about is your kid goes to school and says, I don't want to be called Jimmy anymore. I want to be called Janet. And they don't even tell the parents. They start calling him by a different name. No. He said, your kid goes to school and comes back home with a brutal operation.
School comes back a girl. It was a he and comes back a she. You say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation and often without parental consent. Can you even believe we're saying this?
No, none of us can believe you're saying this. Public schools are not giving gender surgeries to children or any surgeries to children. And without the parents' permission, parents can't send their kids to school with peanut butter, okay?
I would be mad if I didn't know that they were pulling a tooth, right? Or removing tonsils or anything, right? Put in a stitch and no one told me.
Schools won't let our kids eat nuts. You think they're okay with cutting them off? This is a lie. You have to know that. You do know this. This is not real. The president should be focused on things that are actually things. There are so many difficult problems that need to be solved. And this guy can't stop talking about windmills.
But it doesn't matter because whatever he says, that's what his people want to hear. The cult is pleased with him.
The windmills, they don't work. They're rusting and rotting. They're making a lot of noise. I can hear it for 2 miles away. They're destroying the country. If you want to see a lot of dead birds, go to a windmill and just look underneath. You'll see birds all over the place. It looks like a bird cemetery. They're killing the bald eagle and other eagles. And then they kill all the whales, right? They're driving the whales, I think, a little batty. And they say the noise causes cancer. You tell me that. Wah, wah, wah. The wind is bull.
Imagine someone come up to you and talk to you for 3 minutes about windmills and said the wind is bullshit. How can that even be? How can that even be part of your platform? The wind is bullshit?
The wind is bullshit. Honestly, do you know anyone who speaks like that? The people you know who think the wind is bullshit are crazy people standing on a street corner yelling at cars. He's completely preoccupied with nonsense. I'd like you to close your eyes now and imagine you're at the dinner table on a Sunday night. Your grandpa's there, and grandpa's had a long day. Started the day tweeting hate messages to Taylor Swift. He ended it dancing to the Village People for 39 minutes. You ask him to pass the green beans, and grandpa launches into this.
But if I'm sitting down and that boat's going down and I'm on top of a battery, and the water starts flooding in, I'm getting concerned. But then I look 10 yards to my left and there's a shark over there. So I have a choice of electrocution or shark. You know what I'm going to take? Electrocution. I will take electrocution every single time. Do we agree?
That's the weave.
No, we don't, because we don't know what you're talking about. And we don't know why you were talking about it. I mean, aren't you supposed to be...
Do we agree? Do we agree? I would be electrocuted instead of being eaten by a shark. Do we agree?
For president, aren't you supposed to be worried about important topics? And here's the thing, it's kind of funny, these silly random rants of his, and it would be fine if he was hosting a podcast or selling knives at the farmer's market, but he's supposed to be leading us. People are listening to him.
He would be funny just to listen to, for sure. Like, if the stakes weren't so high, it'd be funny to listen to.
And the country is getting crazier because he makes it okay to be nuts. Remember when all those people were in Dallas waiting for JFK Jr. and his dad to come back to life? And
None of those were Biden supporters or Harris supporters or Gavin Newsom supporters. Who did this big batch of crazy support down in Dallas?
then he would serve as Trump's running mate in 24. Okay, let's try to imagine John F. Kennedy saying the same thing Trump just said.
But if I'm sitting down and that boat is going down and I'm on top of a battery and the water starts flooding in, I'm getting concerned. Then I look 10 yards to my left and there's a shark over there. So I have a choice of electrocution or a shark. You know what? I'm going to take electrocution. Oh, and I hate Taylor Swift.
It sounds even crazier when a real president says it.
It sounds much nuttier when you hear it from a real president, right?
Yeah, that's what yeah.
Point between QAnon and QVC. You remember when Ronald Reagan was selling high tops in the 80s? No, you don't, because he wasn't. Reagan didn't sell sneakers. Clinton didn't sell pork rinds. Bush didn't sell baked beans. Presidents don't sell products, except for one who sells a lot of them.
Hello, everyone. I have something incredible to share today. We are announcing the launch of Trump.
How weird is it that he sells so much? And it's not just like I get it. There's a bunch of like Obama Hope stuff and like campaign ads and people wore T-shirts and other people made stuff. But Trump is just hawking everything. Like he's got more merch than YouTubers. How weird is that?
Coins. It's a really beautiful coffee table book. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. My new book, Save America, is now available for order. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. These cards show me dancing and even be holding some Bitcoins. That's the real deal. That's the real deal. My last two...
Oh, yes, because he's a businessman. Got me there.
Trump digital trading card collection sold out in just hours. And now I'm back with my latest series called the Mugshot Edition. Here it is. If you want to go out and get it, you can go out and get it. Have fun with it. My new Trump watches. That's a lot of diamonds. I love gold. I love diamonds. We all do. I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible. Let's make America pray again. God bless you and God bless the USA.
Now, those God Bless the USA Bibles, you probably know, weren't even made in the USA. They're made in China. That's how tough he is on China. He forces them to make his Bibles for him. How does this not bother anyone? How is this not embarrassing?
Yeah, it's because of how much he fucking owes in court cases and legal fees and everything else, right? And he's stiffing his own lawyers. He can't get a lot of lawyers to work for him because he stiffs so many of the lawyers.
This is like a bizarro world. He's selling Trump Bibles because, of course, he's selling. This is a man with deep reverence for the word of the Lord.
You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book, and you said, I think.
What do you think Trump's favorite Bible verse is, chat? What do you think Trump's favorite Bible verse is? Jesus wept. That's a good one, right?
Last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favorite Bible verses are.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses.
It's too personal. He couldn't tell you. It's too personal.
I don't want to get into there's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite.
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
You can decide a verse.
No, I don't want to do that.
Old Testament guy or New Testament?
You can't decide. Like, this is not a setup, right? This is a softball question. Right? For God so loved the world. That's about everybody's favorite, right? Anything. You like the Old Testament and the New Testament? Equal.
Probably equal.
This is, I don't know, Sharing his favorite Bible verse is too personal, but did you hear about Arnold Palmer's big one? Boy, look, he obviously hasn't read the Bible, and that's okay. Just say you haven't read the Bible. If you did, you know you're not supposed to
But no, he's got to have the evangelicals.
lie about reading the Bible. It's the 9th commandment. The lying is unprecedented and relentless. So many Republican mayors, governors, senators, people from his own party who want to support him beg him to stop spreading these ridiculous stories, but he won't even do it when he's confronted by Fox News.
When you said, it's gone viral there, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, you said you're just reporting what had been said. But why not say now, well, look, that turned out not to be true. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not true. I read something. You don't know if it's true or not true. It's been debunked. Well, what about the goose, the geese? What about the geese? What happened there? It was one. Listen, two geese. I have no idea. That's a story that was reported, and I said that. Why don't you go after the newspaper that wrote it? Don't blame me. Well, I think it's been debunked by local officials. I don't think it's been debunked at all. I think nobody talks about it except you.
But wait, I thought you were against fake news. How is this what we...
Nobody talks about it except you. Except you guys did it.
President, someone who believes or pretends to believe any crackpot story that fits his narrative, who blames everything on immigrants, forgetting, I guess, that 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants? Do we only have room for hot immigrants? Is that either he doesn't care about the truth or he has a hard time understanding what the truth is? Both very
Guys, you all can chat. I saw you come back. You can chat. You just got to subscribe.
bad option. So now we have an election on Tuesday, and Trump has made it very clear that if he wins, it was an honest election, and if he loses, it was a rigged election. There are only 2 possible outcomes. It was stolen or I win. Can you imagine if this happened in the World Series? Like if the manager of the Yankees, Aaron Boone, after the game reporter asked him what the team has to do to come back, he's like, come back. We don't have to come back. We're winning. We won. They cheated. The umpire was born in L.A., and Ohtani's an illegal immigrant. I'll see you at the victory parade.
Come back. Bullshit. We won.
He would be taken to the hospital to do an MRI on his brain to find out what was wrong. How is what Trump is doing any different from that? He has no plan to lower grocery prices or to make us safer or to protect the border. The only plans he has is to file lawsuits, legal challenges, settle scores, and punish his enemies.
Remember, he was going to be back in office since the fucking 2020 election.
Enemies. That's all he has planned. He's going to pull all the same tricks he pulled last time and more. This is not my opinion. This is happening right out in the open. They're not even trying to keep it secret. The one thing that makes this country a democracy more than anything else are free and fair elections of the people, by the people, and for the people. That's what it says. He wants to turn it into of me, by me, for me. He's planning to pardon himself. Nixon must be rolling over in his grave, just punching himself in the face right now for not thinking of that. He doesn't believe this election was rigged in 2020. His own White House staff testified under oath that he knew all along there was no evidence of fraud. He knows he lost the election. Trump's own daughter, his golden child, Ivanka, one of his closest advisors, said there was no evidence of voter fraud. And yet here we are, almost 4 years later, and he's doing it all over again.
If I lose, I'll tell you what's possible, because they cheat. That's the only way we're going to lose. They don't want voter ID because they want to cheat. They're trying to rig the vote through this crap they're doing. They cheat with ballots, and they drop ballots and fake ballots. They're trying to rig it with this. This is their new form. I didn't rig it. They did. They are professional thieves when it comes to elections. I see the way they lie and the way they cheat.
How will the Democrats cheat in Pennsylvania?
About 12 different ways. So many ways. If you had all day, I could give you examples.
I have 2 minutes.
If you had all day, I give you all day's examples, all of them.
Just give me one of those
About
examples.
12 different ways.
On January 6th, they all went to prison because they believed him. And I get that politicians don't typically tell the truth. They exaggerate. But this is ridiculous. How can we have an election if whoever loses won't accept the results? And think CBS should have its license revoked for an episode of 60 Minutes he didn't like? And who sides with Russia over the CIA and sent COVID equipment to Putin at the height of the pandemic when Americans couldn't even get it? Not to mention the 34 felony convictions. Will he be president from jail? I mean, how do you see that working? Listen, politics in a lot of ways is like sports. You probably just root for the team your dad roots for. Maybe you've been a Republican your whole life.
That's the problem.
That's your team, and it feels wrong not to root for them or to vote for them. But this time around, you wouldn't be alone. You have a lot of company because hundreds of prominent Republicans, including dozens of members of his own administration, generals, senators, his own chief of staff, I mean, Dick Cheney is, all believe he is unfit to be
Of all people, Dick Cheney.
president. This has never happened before. And you know who else isn't voting for him? I'll tell you who. This guy, Mike Pence, his adoring, subservient vice president.
How many times do we have a president run for re-election and their vice president refuses to run with them? They have to get a new vice president. And they didn't die. They're right. They didn't die.
Said, I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year. Who would have ever thunk it? I mean, it's like a milk turned on cookies. His own vice president. How much more do you need? But if you do need more, I suggest you watch that rally he had at Madison Square Garden or listen to all 3 hours of his interview with Joe Rogan, because most elections are about policy. This one is not. This is about sanity and security and democracy. You know, I saw a shirt the other day. It said, I support Trump because he pisses off the people who piss me off. And it's funny, and I get it. Sometimes it feels like no one has a sense of humor anymore. But is that really all we want for America, is to piss each other off? I don't want that. Anyway, if you made it this far... If you made it this far, thank you for listening. And whoever wins, once the votes are counted, if Trump has more of those votes, we are going to accept that. Even if it doesn't go our way, we won't like it, but we'll accept it because that's how it has to go. We vote, we count the votes, winner wins, loser goes away. That's the
I don't know why people keep fucking, well, cool. That's a cool story. That's awful. I'm glad the person was caught and fired. That's the system working. Thanks a lot, Rick.
only way this country can work. And it's up to you to do whatever you think is the right thing to do. But before you go, we have one more thing. This is Guillermo. He is an immigrant. He became an American citizen. And this is a toast for our fellow Americans. bless America.
God bless me. That was, I mean, I thought that was good, logical, right? Sound points were made. Oh, they all left again? Why do you guys keep... Jesus. Stick around. There's like 5 of you with Hawk in your name. Come on back, guys. Wait, who is the brand new furry that just joined? A kind and peaceful furry or some shit. Who was that? Wait, come back, guys. You were so ready to troll, but you don't have $5? Damn. Oh, well. We'll try her again. Good luck. Get in while the getting's good. Anyways. They're trying to make it like it has something to do with like... So basically there was like a FEMA employee who was basically like the lowest level of management, right? She had what they call a direct assistance team or survivor assistance team. So she was technically in management. She had people below her, but she told people to not go to houses with Trump signs. Now, this was apparently, from what I heard earlier, people talking about it, this is on the tail end of like, they had to pull those FEMA employees out because like the militia was hunting them in North Carolina, right? But this wasn't in North Carolina. This was in Florida. And she told people basically to avoid houses with Trump signs. And I'm not excusing her. What she did is reprehensible. You still have to try. You still have to go to those people, right? You can't do FEMA. But they're trying to make it look like that Joe Biden did it or FEMA's broken for some reason. There's horrible people everywhere, right? I don't know if you know this, but there's probably people spitting in your fucking food when you order it too with your Trump bumper sticker and shit. Just saying. Those are horrible people as well. They should be fired. But it doesn't mean that the CEO of Hardee's is instructing people to spit in their fucking food, right? Yeah, they want it to be like FEMA from the ground up, needs to be fucking destroyed and taken away, and Joe Biden is claiming it and doing it. Kamala Harris did this to win the election. They want Trump supporters to die. They're trying to make it into something bigger than what it is. It's a horrible story. That person should be fired. Even if they say that was because of like political tensions, they were afraid, but it doesn't matter. You still can't make that decision for yourself or those below you. It doesn't matter. They should still be fired. It's not acceptable, but it's not like from the top down, which is what everybody's trying to make it into.
I've been seeing a lot of discourse similar to this comment.
It says the problem is the American public. Trump is a genius at recognizing how evil the majority of them are. Hate-filled hearts looking for scapegoatings. Let them experience full MAGA. Give it to them, baby.
I've been seeing a lot of discourse similar to this comment.
It's the villain arc.
And so I'm just going to say exactly what Bernie Sanders has been saying, only a lot fucking meaner, because it is astounding to me. When I say that it's Democratic messaging that has caused the Democrats to repeatedly have our asses handed to us like some sort of back alley reverse BBL, that shit I'm fucking talking about. So I want every liberal dipshit rusty doorknob from Seattle to Miami to pull your heads out of your asses and write down what I'm about to say.
You're good, gardening. I just had to turn it on because of fucking trolls. I know you're in here all the time. You're on it. You don't ever have to subscribe. I'm not worried about it. It's the people that think they're going to come in here and say, like, just like baiting shit. Like, did you see the terrorist? And then they gave some made up bullshit fucking name from a movie. Or I don't know. You saw this shit they were posting.
There is nothing more intrinsically alluring about hate. There is nothing more enticing.
It's the quickest way to lock it down. There's like 30 of them with nothing to do, and they're just all fucking hanging out in their own basement.
I've been seeing a lot of discourse similar to this comment fucking everywhere, and so I'm just going to say exactly what Bernie Sanders has been saying, only a lot fucking meaner, because it is astounding to me. When I say that it's Democratic messaging that has caused the Democrats to repeatedly have our asses handed to us like some sort of back alley reverse BBL, that shit I'm fucking talking about. So I want every liberal dipshit rusty doorknob from Seattle to Miami to pull your heads out of your asses and write down what I'm about to say. There is nothing more intrinsically alluring about hate. There is nothing more enticing about hate. There is nothing more tempting about hate than there is about love. It's just that hate in this country went to a group of people who are actively suffering, i.e. the working class, under one of the highest levels of income.
This is what, historically, this is what all populist style candidates do. So, like Bernie Sanders went to the people and had a grassroots movement, and his issue was that it's the business owners, right? It's the super wealthy, right? Trump, also a populist candidate, just running under a Republican ticket, comes to you and it's the immigrants, it's the swamp, it's DC, it's the liberals, it's the woke agenda, it's the school teachers cutting off people's dicks, right? They always find people that feel like they're disenfranchised, feel like they're left behind, feel like they're struggling, feel like everything sucks, right? And they give you someone to blame that on, and they tell you it's all right to blame those people. They make you feel like it's okay to do it. They make you feel like they're with you on their side, even though populists have no dog in the race most of the time, right? Especially Trump, right? He doesn't feel your burdens. He doesn't know what it's like to fucking inflation to affect you, or your job to go to a different fucking country, or to even work a day, right? But that's the way they drag you in.
Income inequality,
and it can be done right. It doesn't have to be hate, right? It doesn't have to be hate. It can just be like, hey, these people are the problem, and we can fix that. Or it can be like, hey, pitchforks and torches.
History and said, I see your pain. And love looked down its fucking nose and said, it sucks to fucking suck. Well, guess what? That mirage of an ivory tower that you live in isn't going to shelter you from the shit monsoon that's going to cover this nation from sea to shining goddamn sea. Is there a race problem in this country? You bet your ass there is. Is there a misogyny problem? Indubitably. But there are two problems bigger than both of those. Number one, nobody in this country can learn how to fucking zipper merge. And number two is class. And Democrats would realize that if they had any. It is rich people telling poor people that they're superior to other poor people because of some quirk in their genetics or their zip code. And for some reason, every fart-huffing left of center believes that this is a problem exclusive to rural whites. And it's just fucking not. In the words of Will McAvoy,
I think that'll probably eventually be the downfall of the United States, whether that's going to throw us into a civil war or a collapse or a volt or I'm not saying anytime soon, but the disparity between the people who make the food you eat, make the car you drive, make everything, right? They do the jobs that are not minimum wage jobs, but they're like blue collar jobs and can't afford basic necessity. I'm not talking about luxuries or vacationing, or I know people that haven't fucking taken a vacation in years, right? I used to. I would stay at work and send my family on vacation. We very rarely take vacation now because I'm fucking with my VA disability, but I would stay at work knowing that I had to pay for that vacation they were on right then, right? And making decent money. But the disparity between those that work and are blue collar and know what it means to work and are still can't get necessities, right? When I work 80 hours a week and my kids are still going hungry at night, there's too much disparity between the ultra rich and the people that are doing everything else, right? The average person. And I think that'll cause something fucking insane to happen. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
Liberals are so goddamn smart.
When you look at the rates of the average, like an average job versus like the CEO of those jobs, and you get like a 2 or 3% cost of living raise, and they get like a 3,000% raise, there's just people eventually aren't going to take that shit.
Why do they lose so goddamn always? And the reason is because we're more addicted to our high horses and our more.
Yeah, especially depending on where you live. I live in an area where cost of living is super, super low, which is good for me, obviously. But we also don't have a lot of fucking niceties you'd like to have if you lived in like a big city or whatever. But yeah, like there's places where fucking $150K a year you can't do fucking anything.
moral superiority than we are to winning, but not goddamn me. There are only two things I love in this life: the musical stylings of Taylor Allison Swift and
Oh yeah, DC's all expensive
you
for sure.
want to stay in this pot and watch the other frogs boil because you think it's fucking funny. Be my goddamn guest, but you can miss me with this shit.
He had a different video that I thought I was clicking on. This guy's really funny. I feel like more creators and more people are actually speaking out this go around because it's already happened once. This was a pretty open repudiation of Trump supporters here.
I get a lot of comments recently from predominantly male Donald Trump voters saying, hey.
Yeah, but so that's the problem. So like a lot of people are afraid to lose their jobs. We were talking about the flood that came through here. We just had the flood from Helene, and people were told they couldn't leave while the floodwaters rushed into the building, right? They were still working shifts while there was floodwaters in a factory. And people in my comments were like, why didn't they just fucking leave? You might not know what it's like to like, this is the only job I can fucking have, right? It took me 1.5 years to get this fucking job. It pays my bills. And if I fucking leave, they're going to fire me, and terrified that they can't feed their fucking family. But when it gets to the point when you're doing all you can, you haven't made any mistakes, you're showing up to work, you're working overtime, you don't take vacation, you don't take sick days, and you still can't feed your family, the job becomes a whole lot less important, right? You're not worried about getting fired, because who gives a fuck if you get fired if your kids starve?
Andrew, is this still a safe space for me? I get a lot of comments recently from predominantly male Donald Trump voters saying,
I'm actually just on the other side in Tennessee.
hey, Andrew, is this still a safe space for me? And in light of recent events, I just want to get on here and say, absolutely the fuck not. Fuck your feelings. When I say words like imbecilic, gullible, puerile, room temperature IQ. Do you even know what those words mean? Of course you don't. You'd have to have more than 3 working brain cells to figure that shit out. You're so dumb, you don't even know how dumb you are. And I'd say you're going to find out over the next 4 years, but you're so dumb, you're not going to find out, because that would require finding something out for the first time in your life. This is a safe space, but it's a safe space for smart people, not people who couldn't find their asshole with both hands and a mirror. I know for a fact that every time you shit out the Tostino pizza rolls that comprise the entirety of your diet, you wipe your elbow. It's the only explanation for the smell, and it's why no woman wants to be around you. Well, that and your shitty personality. Do you know when it was I figured out that Donald Trump had replaced every single set of balls with a pair of fuzzy dice? It's when I started to see the Trump weddings. Imagine being such a low-T soy boy. You're okay with allowing your wedding day to be about another man. How does it feel knowing that when your wife fall on top of her every 3 years, she's wishing it was a man who looked like this, who was rolling around on her for the 15 seconds it takes you? But maybe you like that feeling. In fact, I think you do. And you want to know how I can prove it? Because I'll bet right now your tiny little thumbs are typing up some grammatically dubious small-dicked comment. Well, go ahead, Buttercup. Make my fucking day. Boost my engagement. Put more money in my pocket like the good dog you are. You're a good girl, aren't you? I get a lot of comments recently from male Donald Trump voters saying, hey, Andrew, is this still a safe space for me? And in light of recent events, I just want to get on here and say, absolutely fuck not. Fuck your feelings. When I say words like imbecilic, gullible, puerile, room temperature IQ, do you even know what those words mean?
Actually, it was improving towards the end. Inflation, unemployment, interest rates, everything was improving there at the end. And Trump's gonna get fucking credit for it, but there you go. That's the way. That's the MO. That's how it works.
Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. Texas Republicans banned abortion even in cases of rape, incest, and threats to the mother's health. Since then, 26,000 Texas women have been forced to give birth to their rapist baby. Infant and maternal mortality have spiked. Pregnant women with life-threatening complications are being told to wait in emergency room parking lots until they go into sepsis. This has never been about life. This has always been about controlling women. In some Texas counties, as y'all know well, Republican politicians are trying to ban women from using public highways to travel out of state to get an abortion. Trump is saying he's going to let red states monitor women's pregnancies. And in their latest platform, the Texas GOP calls for the death penalty for women who get abortion care. Republican extremism is killing women in Texas. And now they are promising to take those deadly policies nationwide.
Of course.
They win in November. God help us. When Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade,
God help you, brother.
Texas Republicans banned abortion even in cases of rape, incest, and threats to the mother's health.
Oh, well, there you go. So I guess I know it doesn't. I know it means it's going to mean different things to different people. I guess what the biggest effects that it'll have on me personally is my VA stuff, right, and then my kids' education. I know it's going to affect other people differently, but we'll see how it all turns out. There's always shit that's said during the campaign that never comes to fruition. Much of Trump's 2016 campaign never came through, right? Almost all the promises he made about the fucking wall and everything he fucking said, almost. He never even tried to do or didn't successfully do it. So we'll see what happens, but that's the best we can do. I wouldn't lay down and take it. I know there's a lot of people with that mentality, but get real close to your Congress people if you can. It's political suicide. The way he makes it into a reality TV show and basically ends your career if you say anything bad against him, don't vote with him, don't agree with him, don't whatever. He's up the stakes to another level. So we'll see. He had a super majority when he went in the first time. Didn't get shit done. But it seems like they've warmed up to him a lot since then. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the guardrails stay on. But who knows? He's fucking birthright citizenship blows my mind. The fact that it's enshrined in the Constitution and that's something he wants to end, like being born here gives you citizenship. Mass deportation is going to be such a clusterfuck, dude. Such a fucking clusterfuck. If you live in a deeply blue state, I guess you'll have defenses put in place, and the rest of us will just try to deal with the MAGA lunacy. Either way, it's after 1 a.m. here. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate that. I'm going to hop off here. We got some work to do tomorrow. I know it's Sunday, but I got shit to do at the campground. I'll keep documenting that stuff on TikTok. If you're interested, you can go to my TikTok account at Cold Beer Confess. Hold on. At Cold Beer Confessions. At Cold Beer Confessions. You can follow me there. They got the link there. Support the show. We're offline at coldbeer.fund. You can also, if you would, help support the rebuilding of the campground. That's that GoFundMe that the mods are now dropping in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. We appreciate it. I'll try to be back. I got to get back on Patreon. I got to get back on a normal schedule. I still don't have a road into my house, but I'm able to ride the one wheel in and out for about 1.5 miles, and then I can hop in the car. The problem is, as it gets colder, going in late at night on a fucking one wheel because it's going to kind of suck, but we'll figure something out. All right. Either way, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here, and we'll see everybody on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye, guys. Don't do anything that Don M would do, because that seems like a bad decision. See you guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name.
I actually have been wearing the hoodie. It's sitting over there on a chair right now. I wore it in last night because I didn't bring a jacket. And I'll probably wear it in tonight because I don't think I brought my jacket again.
Shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better
They want to make it to where you, even if you're born in the country, you have to have at least one U.S. citizen parent to get automatic citizenship.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a sixth sense for the stupid shit. Well, my true believer, y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip, worshiping Trump's cock and begging for a throat deposit, swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong, starving for attention. I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your Huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started.
Oh, I only need like 40 more people or 45 more people on TikTok to hit 6,000 subs. TikTok seems to be the happening place for a lot of like shorter form content. So I'm definitely going to be producing shit over there. I got to get back to a Patreon schedule for sure. And then we'll see what time I have left for live streams. They're not expecting us to have a road until maybe next summer. So maybe even longer. I don't know. They're not even starting on it for 3 months. So we'll see what happens.
Stop. What? I'll get my files. What are you doing? It's a stop. Hold on. Fucking stop.
Yeah, the border numbers haven't actually been that bad. But it doesn't matter. Trump tells them that it's wide open, and they honestly think that there's nobody there stopping, arresting, interviewing. They think there's nobody working there. See you guys.
Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing.
I probably should, Legend.
Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got problems that
I need to make it like a lot of the TikTok streams I see are higher energy. They got stuff going on, more interaction. I don't know. I need to come up with a I guess like a gimmick. As bad as I hate to say it, but it is what it is. You know. Oh, thank you for. There's a donation that came in from John. I appreciate it. Thank you again for the donation. There's been a couple from him that I don't think I've thanked him for on the show. Thank you for those. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet.